These are the answers to the most asked question in real estate. Have you ever wondered how realtors assess a home's value? Estimating the value of real estate is necessary for a variety of endeavors, including financing, sales listing, investment analysis, property insurance, and taxation. But for most people, determining the asking or purchase price of a piece of real property is the most useful application of real estate valuation. This piece of information will provide an introduction to the basic concepts and methods of real estate valuation, particularly as it pertains to sales. Technically speaking, a property's value is defined as the present worth of future benefits arising from the ownership of the property. Unlike many consumer goods that are quickly used, the benefits of real property are generally realized over a long period of time. Therefore, an estimate of a property's value must take into consideration economic and social trends, as well as governmental controls or regulations and environmental conditions that may influence the four elements of value. 1. Demand. The desire or need for ownership supported by the financial means to satisfy the desire. 2. Utility. The ability to satisfy future owners' desires and needs. 3. Scarcity. The finite supply of competing properties. 4. Transferability. The ease with which ownership rights are transferred. Value is not necessarily equal to cost or price. Cost refers to actual expenditures, on materials, for example, or labor. Price, on the other hand, is the amount that someone pays for something. While cost and price can affect value, they do not determine value. The sales price of a house might be $150,000, but the value could be significantly higher or lower. For instance, if a new owner finds a serious flaw in the house, such as a faulty foundation, the value of the house could be lower than the price. An appraisal is an opinion or estimate regarding the value of a particular property as of a specific date. Appraisal reports are used by businesses, government agencies, individuals, investors, and mortgage companies when making decisions regarding real estate transactions. The goal of an appraisal is to determine a property's market value, the most probable price that the property will bring in a competitive and open market. The price at which property actually sells may not always represent the market value. For example, if a seller is under duress because of the threat of foreclosure, or if a private sale is held, the property may sell below its market value. An accurate appraisal depends on the methodical collection of data, specific data, covering details regarding the particular property, and general data, pertaining to the nation, region, city, and neighborhood wherein the property is located, are collected and analyzed to arrive at a value. Appraisals use three basic approaches to determine a property's value. The sales comparison approach is commonly used in valuing single-family homes and land. Sometimes called the market data approach, it is an estimate of value derived by comparing a property with recently sold properties with similar characteristics. These similar properties are referred to as comparables, and in order to provide a valid comparison, each must be as similar to the subject property as possible, have been sold within the last year in an open, competitive market, have been sold under typical market conditions. At least 3 or 4 comparables should be used in the appraisal process. The most important factors to consider when selecting comparables are the size, comparable features and, perhaps most of all, location, which can have a tremendous effect on a property's market value. Since no two properties are exactly alike, adjustments to the comparable sales prices will be made to account for dissimilar features and other factors that would affect value, including age and condition of buildings, date of sale, if economic changes occur between the date of sale of a comparable and the date of the appraisal, terms and conditions of sale, such as if a property's seller was under duress or if a property was sold between relatives, at a discounted price. Location, since similar properties might differ in price from neighborhood to neighborhood. Physical features, including lot size, landscaping, type and quality of construction, number and type of rooms, square feet of living space, hardwood floors, a garage, kitchen upgrades, a fireplace, a pool, central air, etc. The market value estimate of the subject property will fall within the range formed by the adjusted sales prices of the comparables. Since some of the adjustments made to the sales prices of the comparables will be more subjective than others, weighted consideration is typically given to those comparables that have the least amount of adjustment. The cost approach can be used to estimate the value of properties that have been improved by one or more buildings. This method involves separate estimates of value for the buildings and the land, taking into consideration depreciation. The estimates are added together to calculate the value of the entire improved property. The cost approach makes the assumption that a reasonable buyer would not pay more for an existing improved property than the price to buy a comparable lot and construct a comparable building. This approach is useful when the property being appraised is a type that is not frequently sold and does not generate income. Examples include schools, churches, hospitals, and government buildings. Building costs can be estimated in several ways, including the square foot method, where the cost per square foot of a recently built comparable is multiplied by the number of square feet in the subject building. The unit in place method, where costs are estimated based on the construction cost per unit of measure of the individual building components, including labor and materials, and the quantity survey method, which estimates the quantities of raw materials that will be needed to replace the subject building, along with the current price of the materials and associated installation costs. For appraisal purposes, depreciation refers to any condition that negatively affects the value of an improvement to real property, and takes into consideration physical deterioration, including curable deterioration, such as painting and roof replacement, and incurable deterioration, such as structural problems. Functional obsolescence, which refers to physical or design features that are no longer considered desirable by property owners, such as outdated appliances, dated-looking fixtures, or homes with 4 bedrooms, but only 1 bath. Economic obsolescence, caused by factors that are external to the property, such as being located close to a noisy airport or polluting factory. Estimate the value of the land as if it were vacant and available to be put to its highest and best use, using the sales comparison approach, since land cannot be depreciated. Estimate the current cost of constructing the buildings and site improvements. Estimate the amount of depreciation of the improvements resulting from deterioration, functional obsolescence, or economic obsolescence. Deduct the depreciation from the estimated construction costs. Add the estimated value of the land to the depreciated cost of the buildings and site improvements to determine the total property value. Income capitalization approach, often called simply the income approach. This method is based on the relationship between the rate of return an investor requires and the net income that a property produces. It is used to estimate the value of income-producing properties such as apartment complexes, office buildings, and shopping centers. Appraisals using the income capitalization approach can be fairly straightforward when the subject property can be expected to generate future income, and when its expenses are predictable and steady. Direct capitalization approach. Appraisers will perform the following steps when using the direct capitalization approach. Estimate the annual potential gross income. Take into consideration vacancy and rent collection losses to determine the effective gross income. Deduct annual operating expenses to calculate the annual net operating income. Estimate the price that a typical investor would pay for the income produced by the particular type and class of property. This is accomplished by estimating the rate of return, or capitalization rate. Apply the capitalization rate to the property's annual net operating income to form an estimate of the property's value. Gross income multipliers. The gross income multiplier, GIM, method can be used to appraise other properties that are typically not purchased as income properties but that could be rented, such as 1- and 2-family homes. The GRM method relates the sales price of a property to its expected rental income. For residential properties, the gross monthly income is typically used. For commercial and industrial properties, the gross annual income would be used. The gross income multiplier method can be calculated as follows. Sales price divided by rental income equals gross income multiplier. Recent sales and rental data from at least 3 similar properties can be used to establish an accurate GIM. The GIM can then be applied to the estimated fair market rental of the subject property to determine its market value, which can be calculated as follows. Rental income x GIM equals estimated market value. Accurate real estate valuation is important to mortgage lenders, investors, insurers, and buyers and sellers of real property. While appraisals are generally performed by skilled professionals, anyone involved in a real transaction can benefit from gaining a basic understanding of the different methods of real estate valuation. To attract buyers and ensure you receive a price that works best for you, your realtor will help establish your home's current market value. Market value, given sufficient market exposure, is what you could expect to pay for a property of that kind. Realtors have access to information from various sources to help establish market value. When retained to advise on pricing questions, realtors can review the stated value on your current assessment property notice, Review recent sales and current listings history for properties like yours. Do on-site inspections, examining the exterior and interior of your property in detail, noting new features that could affect the property's value. Give you information about the current economy and how it may have affected the value of your property, e.g. an improving economy may mean rising prices, while a declining economy may mean falling prices. Based on this information, your realtor can provide an estimate of the value of your property, and then, together, you can establish an appropriate asking price. Most successful home sellers have something in common. They use a realtor to help them through the complex process of selling their home. A realtor determines the value of a property by scrutinizing the most recent comparable market data for homes sold in a neighborhood using the MLS. A realtor also physically examines the exterior and the interior of a property, architectural styles, renovations, views, landscaping, and neighborhood zoning. For instance, if your home has a finished basement and the comparable properties do not, your home will be worth more than the comps. Or if there has been an increase in demand for homes in the last 30 days, your property may be worth more than a comparable property that was sold 60 days before. The key to market value is that your property is worth what buyers are willing to pay for it. Assessed value: every property has property taxes that the owner must pay. The amount of taxes due is based on the assessed value, the value the tax department places on the real estate that is used to calculate the amount of taxes due. Typically, the department will take the market value of your home and multiply it by a percentage to get the assessed value. Investment value: investment value is what a specific investor believes a property is worth. Let's say your client, Yinka, is looking at a property that meets his criteria for an investment. It's a commercial property in a high traffic area. He can add on to the building and create 4 more office complexes, and he can get financing on the property. This investment has more value to Yinka than to an investor who only wants to invest in apartment complexes. Yinka may pay more than another investor for this property because it fits his needs. Value in use: value in use is the net present value based on cash flow or other return on the property. If Yinka valued his commercial property based on what he could rent the units for, he would be using the value in use method. It's based on how much return he can get for what he must pay for the property. Usually value in use is lower than market value.
In a world where real estate, travel, and fleet management intersect, looking to purchase your dream home, acquire a piece of land, or find a long-term or short-term apartment rental? Look no further than OAS Realtors. We specialize in making your dream of owning the perfect home a reality. Need a break from the ordinary? Our OAS travel experts are ready to whisk you away to your dream destination. From short visits to long stay, vacation package, student package, and more. And for businesses on the move, OAS Fleet Management ensures efficiency and control. No cash? Why don't you let your car pay you? We offer car fleet management with guaranteed confidentiality, routine maintenance, and insurance. 3 industries, 1 name you can trust. Discover the power of choice with OAS Consult Limited. Contact us today and let us redefine your experience in real estate, travel, and fleet management. Get in touch with us via call or WhatsApp on +234 901 524 5674 or +234 906 687 4447, or send us an email at oasconsults@gmail.com. You can also walk into our office at Suite 05 and 06, Lafayette Estate Shopping Mall, Dodowa, Abuja, FCT. For more info, visit our website www.oasconsultingnigeria.com. OAS Consult Limited. Your journey begins here.
Another frequent question is what a conditional sale means in real estate. It is just as simple as it sounds. A conditional sale is an offer with conditions that must be met within a specified time. Once the conditions are met and/or waived, then the offer will become a firm offer and it is no longer conditional. If the conditions are not met within the specified time frame, the offer will become null and void and the deposit will be returned to the buyer, if that is specified in the conditional offer. This is a conditional contract, where the sale of land or property is subject to something happening before the deal can proceed to completion. In such an agreement, the entire deal is under contract and both sides are bound subject only to one or more conditions being met. A conditional contract is an alternative to using property option agreements. An option places the option holder, usually the potential property buyer, in control of whether the property is sold. A conditional sale contract tends to favor the seller in that they know they have sold subject only to the condition being met. However, the buyer may also be in favor of using this agreement because they can be confident that they will not have to pay the purchase price until the condition is met and the deal takes place. The most usual conditions are obtaining a grant of planning permission for development or alterations, the removal of a restrictive covenant on use, finding reasonable finance for the project, landlord's consent to sell leasehold land or for an assignment of a lease, obtaining a satisfactory survey or ground reports or search results, grant of access rights, vacant possession of a building being obtained from an occupier, grant of permission or license for a particular use, and in buying, an office building to be redeveloped, a field or derelict land to have houses built, a house, flat or shop to be refurbished. This agreement also gives you an option for the seller to require an additional payment in the future. This provision gives a seller a stronger incentive to sell when he thinks that the buyer may be able to generate more value later. For example, if the buyer cannot obtain planning permission for the whole site and instead seeks planning permission in stages, the seller can benefit from the increase in value of the land as a result of the subsequent grants of permission. We suggest that a buyer should keep this provision in reserve and not offer it unless demanded. Some conditional offers state that once the conditions are satisfied, met, the conditions are to be waived. When a condition is waived, it means that the buyer must be notified, usually in writing, that the condition has been satisfied, met. Some offers will state that if the buyer does not hear back, then the conditions have been satisfied. Dates and deadlines are crucial with conditional sales. There is typically no getting out of an agreement if one party has changed their mind. However, if a date or deadline is missed, even accidentally, the agreement is null and void, which can be helpful for the person wanting to reconsider the sale. Conditional on financing. A buyer may include a financing condition in their offer for a variety of reasons. One of the main reasons is that they may not have the cash available to purchase the property outright, and will need to obtain a mortgage or another form of financing in order to complete the transaction. By including a financing condition, the buyer can ensure that they will not be held responsible for completing the purchase if they are unable to secure the necessary financing. Additionally, a financing condition can give the buyer more time to shop around for the best financing options and negotiate favorable terms. Ultimately, including a financing condition in an offer can provide the buyer with some protection and flexibility when it comes to completing the purchase of a property. Conditional on home inspection. A buyer may include a home inspection condition in their offer to protect themselves from potential issues that may not be visible during a regular viewing of the property. A home inspection can identify hidden problems, such as structural issues, mold or leaks, that may not be apparent to the naked eye. If the inspection uncovers any major problems, the buyer can either negotiate with the seller to address the issues or decide to forego the deal altogether. A home inspection can also provide the buyer with peace of mind and help them make an informed decision about the property they are interested in purchasing. By including a home inspection condition in their offer, the buyer can ensure that they are not taking on any unexpected and potentially costly repairs after closing the sale. Conditional on sale of purchaser's property. If the buyer needs to sell their current home in order to secure the funds for the purchase of a new property, they may include a condition on the sale of their own house in their offer. This condition can provide the buyer with some peace of mind as they can be confident that they will have the funds to complete the purchase before committing to the transaction. Including this condition can also help to avoid any potential financial difficulties or legal issues that may arise from purchasing a new property before selling the current one. Conditional on status certificate. A buyer may include a condition on the review of the status certificate in their offer when purchasing a condominium unit. A status certificate is a document that provides important information about the financial and legal status of the condominium corporation, including any outstanding fees, legal disputes, or other potential issues that may affect the property or its value. By including a condition on the review of the status certificate, the buyer can ensure that they have a clear understanding of the current state of the property and the condominium corporation before finalizing the purchase. This can help to avoid any potential legal or financial issues that may arise from purchasing a property with outstanding fees or other unresolved issues. Overall, including a condition on the review of the status certificate can provide the buyer with peace of mind and ensure that they are making an informed decision about the conditional offers. For real estate transactions could be dependent on a variety of factors. The conditional offer protects the buyer by preventing the property from being sold while the specific conditions are satisfied. If they are not, the seller is released and allowed to sell to another buyer. However, the seller is stuck in a holding pattern while waiting for the buyer to meet the conditions in the offer letter. In simple terms, a conditional offer has certain terms that the buyer or seller must meet during the conditional period. If the conditions are not met, the deal becomes null and void and the seller can accept another offer. Criticism of conditional offers. Unfortunately, conditional sale can sometimes be used as a way to discriminate against underrepresented groups and persons in conditional home purchase offers. Potential homebuyers may have an advantage in avoiding discrimination because they are technically the ones making the offer. However, there is still some scope for conditional offers to facilitate discrimination. The seller might insist that the buyer obtain financing within a short time frame before agreeing to the conditional sale. That potentially leaves the buyer at the mercy of a discriminatory lender. Getting pre-approval for a mortgage can help borrowers to avoid this situation. In some cases, conditional sale can have discriminatory effects similar to legacy clauses. Costly changes to the property might be required as a condition of the sale, perhaps due to zoning laws. Many of these laws were not in effect decades ago, when discrimination was more prevalent. The people who bought local properties earlier frequently do not have to follow the new zoning rules. In actual practice, new community members, often underrepresented further people, face expenses that established residents do not. Some real estate agents will continue to show the property to other buyers to pressure the conditional offer buyer to expedite the process. However, it's vital to disclose to other potential buyers that there's a conditional offer. If another buyer makes an offer, the contract or proposal needs to be structured so that the sale only goes through if the first conditional offer does not materialize. Real estate agents might also suggest that the seller insert an escape clause into the conditional offer in case a better offer comes along. An escape clause is specific wording written into the purchase and sale agreement that states the seller can entertain other buyers even if there's a conditional offer. The seller would be required to notify the original buyer that another offer has been made. The original buyer would have a specific amount of time to either waive or satisfy the condition. If the condition isn't met within that period, the seller would be released and allowed to sell to the second buyer.
In a world where real estate, travel, and fleet management intersect, looking to purchase your dream home, acquire a piece of land, or find a long-term or short-term apartment rental? Look no further than OAS Realtors. We specialize in making your dream of owning the perfect home a reality. Need a break from the ordinary? Our OAS travel experts are ready to whisk you away to your dream destination. From short visits to long stay, vacation package, student package, and more. And for businesses on the move, OAS Fleet Management ensures efficiency and control. No cash? Why don't you let your car pay you? We offer car fleet management with guaranteed confidentiality, routine maintenance, and insurance. 3 industries, 1 name you can trust. Discover the power of choice with OAS Consult Limited. Contact us today and let us redefine your experience in real estate. travel, and fleet management. Get in touch with us via call or WhatsApp on +234 901524 5674 or +234 906 687 4447, or send us an email at oasconsults@gmail.com. You can also walk into our office at Suite 05 and 06, Lafayette Estate Shopping Mall, Gadoua, Abuja, FCT. For more info, visit our website www.oasconsultingnigeria.com. OAS Consult Limited. Your journey begins here.
Another frequent question homeowners ask is how it will take to sell their property. You can expect to get fair market value in 21 days if you sell your house at auction. Most homes sell at auction within 45 days. Quick cash companies usually close in a similar amount of time, but tend to offer less money. Selling through a realtor in a conventional relationship can take months, though you could get lucky. In most cases, the best sale strategy with highest return is to sell your house through a realtor. Let's dig further. When you decide you want to sell your home as it is, you eliminate the cost it takes to upgrade your property. On the other hand, the longer your home remains on the market, the more bills, maintenance costs, and taxes will mount up. You're going to want the quickest route to selling your home and selling it for a decent price. Let's examine how fast properties sell with the 4 most popular methods of selling your house as is. Home auction, real estate, quick cash offer. For sale by owner, FSBO. How fast can you sell your house as is at a home auction? One of the advantages of a home auction is the fixed deadline for a sale. You often get to pick the close date. Deadlines help home buyers because they then have a timeline to get financing approved, perform research, read through the proposed contract and register to participate in the auction. When auction day comes around, they can be ready and confident in their bid. A timeline also generates a sense of urgency. This triggers the fear of missing out on a great opportunity, which attracts more buyers to compete. But in countries like Nigeria where the option is not accessible, the next best thing is to use a realtor. How fast can you sell your house as is with a real estate agent? Maybe you'd prefer an agent. They are after all the traditional and most common way to sell a home. So how fast, or slow, would it be with one? According to a study by Realtor magazine, the amount of time it takes to sell your home through a real estate agent can take as little as 50 days if things all line up. According to a Zillow, the average timeline can be longer, between 61 and 66 days. How fast you sell your house depends on local market conditions, demand, and seasonality. The settlement period begins when an offer is made and ends when a sales contract is finalized, which includes the buyer's and seller's signatures. The purchase and sale contract includes other details of negotiations such as the buyer's inspection and the amount of earnest money the buyer puts down. Earnest money is a deposit that the home buyer makes to the home seller. This reflects their good faith to buy a home. This money gives the buyer time to perform a title search, home inspection, and home appraisal before they close a deal. There are only several factors that can slow down a sale through a real estate agent. These could include requested repairs, low demand in the market, the list goes on. A hefty portion of selling time with real estate agents can simply be dealing with financing problems due to a buyer's bad credit. Here are some broad steps a seller takes: closing a sale with a real estate agent. Negotiation of the offer and setting conditions of a sale. Conditions of a sale include the potential home buyer providing proof of funds, a home inspection that assesses the state of the property, or on condition that the buyer sells their existing home before a sale can be made. This is more typical in a buyer's market, where there are more home sellers than buyers. Renegotiations of the offer. Even when selling a home as is, it's common for home buyers to renegotiate their previous offer in light of repairs that will need to be made. Funding requirements. In addition to the earnest payment, the buyer has to deposit additional funds to complete the transaction. Opening an escrow account. An escrow account is a third-party account that holds paperwork and funds during a transaction until everything is settled between a home seller and buyer. Once everything is signed and in order, which includes required repairs made by the seller, mortgage payments owed, and home inspections, the funds and the documents are moved from the escrow account to the seller and buyer, thereby guaranteeing a secure transaction. Reviewing and clearing the title. Before a transaction can be closed, the potential buyer performs a title search to confirm the legal ownership of the property and to uncover any liens or title defects on the property. This can add significant time before closing a deal on your home. Final walkthrough. Before home buyers close a deal on a house, they typically ask the home seller if all the major repairs have been completed. This is also the case when selling your home as is. Potential buyers want to check aren't any new issues have come up between the last home inspection and signing the agreement to purchase your property. How fast can you sell your house as is with a quick cash offer? Maybe you don't want to jump through any hoops and just want a quick cash-in-hand offer. It's tempting, though we recommend to keep in mind there's often a catch with cash-quick companies. So how fast, or slow, would it be with one? Because quick cash offer companies don't involve a lender, typically a mortgage lender company that underwrites and offers home loans, the route to closing a sale can be a quick solution for sellers uninterested in optimizing as much money they walk away with. Once you've signed a purchase and sales agreement, known as going under contract, it can take a few weeks to sell your home. This gives title companies and escrow firms enough time to clear liens, prepare the insurance and the paperwork. The home buyer puts together the contract, which should feature the purchase price, the amount of deposit, and the closing date. It is up to the seller whether they want to sign and accept the offer or hire an attorney to give the contract a closer look. The majority of quick cash offer companies relinquish a home inspection, but often offer up to 50% less of the home's market value. If they do ever insist on an inspection, there's a change they may change the offer price if the health of your home is lower than initially assumed. Although most quick cash sales go through without any hiccups, there are always extenuating circumstances where things slow down the sales process. Quick cash companies may conduct municipal lien searches to uncover any code violations, or open or expired permits issues that are associated with residential real estate. How fast can I sell my house as is if I sell it myself? For sale by owner, FSBO. Maybe you're most comfortable handling the sale of your house yourself, or perhaps there are some extenuating circumstances. This could potentially save you money on a realtor's commission and you get to oversee everything. This can be pretty rewarding monetarily, though. Overseeing the entire process without professional experience can be a pretty big time suck. So how fast, or slow, would it be selling FSBO? To put it simply, if you are planning to do all the work without an extensive network and the negotiation skills of a professional realtor, it's very likely going to take you double the time it would with a realtor. The reality is, these professionals spend years getting all the paperwork and steps down pat, so it can be done quickly. The two factors that will probably take the most time without the advantage of professional experience are negotiating a contract and figuring out how to set up an escrow account. Real estate contract. It is possible to find boilerplate contracts which include the standard conditions and terms that meet the regulations in your state. Unless you are a real estate attorney, using templates is the best option to structure a real estate transaction with timelines and disclosures. Including contingencies in a contract enables the seller or potential buyer to exit out of an agreement legally. For example, if the home seller can't offer disclosure by the specified deadlines, the potential buyer can back out without any legal repercussions. Similarly, if buyers don't demonstrate proof of funds by the time specified in the contract, the home seller can back out and claim the good faith deposit left by the buyer. Escrow. Some realtors require the use of an escrow services company. They make sure that both parties keep to their legal obligations. For example, the home seller typically organizes title insurance for the buyer. This is to cover them in case there are flaws found in the title. The home seller also needs to provide disclosures including any serious flaws or problems with the property. Tips for a smooth sale. We'll break down the essential steps for selling your home, so you can win over buyers and sell it for the most money, without losing your cool. Step 1. Decide how you're going to sell. Choosing how you're going to sell dictates every other aspect of the process, from the selling strategy, to the cost of selling the home, and the preparation you'll need to do. But it's important to weigh the pros and cons to determine the best fit for your circumstances, which is mostly a credible real estate agent, as in the case with Nigeria. The real estate agent, or listing agent, markets the home, prepares the paperwork, and communicates with the buyer's agent, the real estate professional who assists the buyer with finding and closing on the home. Many sellers choose to work with an agent because they can offer guidance on pricing, incentives, and local market expectations. For assisting you with the sale, the listing agent will typically charge 5 to 6% commission. Fee varies by location. That then gets split with the buyer's agent. Keep in mind, there are other costs to selling your home beyond agent commissions. Generally, the better condition your home is in, the more offers you will receive and the easier it is to justify the price. Step 2. Determine your asking price. Pricing your home requires a balance between personal expectations and market conditions. How you price your home can mean the difference between an offer and weeks or even months on the market. Online tools can provide an estimate of your home's value. The traditional way to value a home is to manually select a few comparable homes or comps that have recently sold in your area. It's extremely difficult to find a perfect match, so you, or your agent, will need to make adjustments. For example, if your home has 3 bedrooms but a comp has 4, how much would the comp have sold if it had 3? This gets even more challenging with features like pools, vaulted ceilings, and a mountain view. Once you have a good idea of your home's value, consider whether time or money is more important. You might price a home more competitively if you want to move quickly. On the other hand, you may choose to endure weeks or months of showings for a higher price. The better condition your home is in, the more offers you will receive and the easier it is to justify the price. Step 3. Prepare your home for sale. Generally, the better condition your home is in, the more offers you will receive and the easier it is to justify the price. Here are a few steps you can take to get your home in top condition before showings. Declutter. This is an important component of preparing a home for sale, as decluttering is the best way to make your home look clean, spacious, and ready for new owners. Consider your home from a visitor's perspective. Does it feel expansive and welcoming? Clear countertops, shelves, closets, and corners where items have accumulated. Consider additional storage options if necessary to keep the home clear. Decor, for selling a home, means making the space as neutral as possible. No funky accessories on the walls or overpowering colors. Neutral colors, for example, offer potential buyers a blank slate so they can imagine themselves in the home. Maintenance. Make a plan for maintenance, so nothing falls through the cracks during the hectic home buying and selling process. This way, your home remains in pristine condition until it's under contract. This includes lawn care, small fixes, and maintenance job required. Step 4. Market and list your home. If you work with a real estate agent, the agency will market your home by doing the following: coordinating professional photographs, posting signage in the yard, hosting a broker-agent showing, organizing an open house. Choosing the for sale by owner option means the owner does all of the above. Step 5. Review offers and negotiate. If a buyer likes the home, he or she will make a formal, written offer. The offer is submitted by the buyer's agent to the seller's agent. Whether you have one or multiple offers may affect your considerations on the offer. Step 6. Accept offer and close the deal. Due diligence and underwriting. Once an offer is accepted, the home comes off the market and the buyer is allowed to do due diligence to inspect the home and ensure they'd like to move forward with the purchase. Bottom line: real estate auctions enable you to sell your house in as little as 21 days, and usually within 45 days as long as your property is physically accessible and free of liens. They are a preferred way to get the most money when selling a house, as is. A quick cash company can take a few weeks, but there are plenty of obstacles that slow a sale down. Real estate agents take 60 or more to close, while for sale by owner, FSBO, takes double that time.
In a world where real estate, travel, and fleet management intersect, looking to purchase your dream home, acquire a piece of land, or find a long-term or short-term apartment rental? Look no further than OAS Realtors. We specialize in making your dream of owning the perfect home a reality. Need a break from the ordinary? Our OAS travel experts are ready to whisk you away to your dream destination. From short visits to long stay, vacation package, student package, and more. And for businesses on the move, OAS Fleet Management ensures efficiency and control. No cash? Why don't you let your car pay you? We offer car fleet management with guaranteed confidentiality, routine maintenance, and insurance. 3 industries: one name you can trust. Discover the power of choice with OAS Consult Limited. Contact us today and let us redefine your experience in real estate, travel, and fleet management. Get in touch with us via call or WhatsApp on +234 901 524 5674 or +234 906 687 4447, or send us an email at oasconsults@gmail.com. You can also walk into our office at Suite 05 and 06, Lafayette Estate Shopping Mall, Bedoua, Abuja, FCT. For more info, visit our website www.oasconsultingnigeria.com. OAS Consult Limited. Your journey begins here.
The next frequently asked question is, when is the right time to sell your home? The best time to sell your home depends on both your personal needs and the housing market. Here are some home selling tips from experts. If you're a homeowner who wants to sell your house in the foreseeable future, it could be hard to figure out the right time, especially in the current housing market. Though soaring interest rates for mortgages have priced out many prospective homebuyers, there is still high demand for houses due to limited supply. The prime time to list your home is based on a combination of personal circumstances and local housing market conditions. We'll walk you through what home sellers should consider, the selling process, and tips on finding a good time to sell. Selling a home requires careful consideration. But your personal situation isn't the only factor to keep in mind. Other factors to consider include the local market and market trends overall. Let's look at some of the most common things to take into account before you sell your house. Personal needs. Unless a home is purely an investment property, the decision to sell your home is usually determined by personal circumstances. For example, you might need to sell your home due to a job relocation, or you may need to downsize to get a more affordable living situation. On the flip side, you might need a larger home to accommodate a growing family. There are upsides to listing a home in both peak and non-peak seasons. Though the busiest seasons bring out the largest number of buyers, there are also more listings for them to choose from, said Saturno Sanjana. A seller might also consider listing their home when there are fewer homes available to compete for the attention of buyers, and the buyers looking are very serious about the home search. If you have less flexibility in timing, you might have to sell when it's a slower time of year, which is anytime outside May and July. That could be the case if you need to use the proceeds from the sale for another investment, or if you inherit an estate and prefer to sell sooner rather than later. The basic rules of supply and demand come into play when selling a home. Sellers tend to get a better price and maximize their earnings when existing inventory in the local housing market is low. Generally, a balanced market needs to have a 4 to 6 month supply. To make the home selling process go more smoothly, take a look at market trends and speak to a local real estate agent. Here are some of the factors they might tell you to consider. Inventory. The existing supply of single-family homes are still low, while the number of housing units in the country between 2012 and 2022 grew by 8.5%. Major metropolitan areas continue to have moderate to high housing shortages. Low inventory corresponds to greater demand, which means houses can be sold faster or for a higher price. Mortgage interest rates. Because of high mortgage interest rates, homeowners are holding onto their properties instead of selling. They don't want to lose the low mortgage rates they secured when they purchased their homes years ago. However, the mortgage rate equation might not apply to everyone. If you are a seller who won't need a mortgage for your next home, it is a great time to sell due to limited inventory. Though the current market has slowed down for both sellers and buyers due to high mortgage rates, that should change over time. Market indicators point to a reduction in mortgage rates this year, and with the pent-up demand by buyers and sellers, the market should pick up, and prices will likely come down. Other market conditions. When there's greater uncertainty in the economy and in people's lives in general, buyers and sellers tend to hold off, Sheng said. The end of 2023 was a prime example. The credit markets were tightening, interest rates were rising, borrowing costs were becoming more expensive, and companies weren't making as much money because people had less money to spend. Under those conditions where you have double uncertainty, we saw a decline to the lowest real estate activity in a long time. Home prices. The median existing home sales price increased by 4.4%, and prices are likely to keep rising. Because of high mortgage rates, about a third of buyers are purchasing homes in all cash. If you live in an area where homes are selling quickly, you might need to be flexible regarding your asking price. However, if you live in an area with low inventory and a housing shortage, you'll likely see a bidding war, making it costlier for the buyer but advantageous for the seller. Is today a seller's market? Typically, a seller's market is when there is greater demand for homes than there is supply. Because mortgage rates are so high right now, there are fewer buyers shopping for homes, with many buyers stuck on the sidelines waiting. However, experts say that even though homes are currently quite unaffordable, sellers are at more of an advantage than buyers because existing housing inventory is low. However, everything depends on a buyer's financial situation and overall housing needs within a specific geographic area. If first-time homebuyers in a particular housing market can't afford upfront costs or mortgage payments, that could limit the competition for homes, making it less of a seller's market there. 4 tips for home sellers. 1. Talk to a real estate agent. If you plan to sell your home, ask an experienced real estate agent to conduct a detailed analysis of local market conditions, including inventory and home prices. This analysis can form the basis of a conversation between the seller and their agent. Working with the right agent can help make the entire process smoother and help you make more money in the end. Interview a couple of agents before you decide to work with one, because you do have choices. 2. Improve your home's curb appeal. Sprucing up the interior and exterior of the home can make your home more attractive to potential buyers and increase your asking price. When you invest in staging your home, it can sometimes sell 10% to 20% higher than if you didn't. Plus, buyers are willing to pay the most for a turnkey property that's move-in ready. Simple things such as decluttering, maintaining the house, doing simple repairs and improving the overall condition can boost the value of your home. 3. Calculate home equity and selling costs. Remember that when you sell your home, you'll have to account for the costs of any remodeling projects on top of other selling costs. According to Shang, you should budget at least 2% of the sale price to cover closing costs, in addition to out-of-pocket commission between you and your agent. Having enough equity in your current home is key to ensuring you're not losing money with a sale. A good rule of thumb is to have at minimum 20% equity in your home to help with sales costs, pay off the remainder of the mortgage and get yourself ready to buy a new home. 4. View your home through the eyes of the buyer. Do your best to view your home through the eyes of the buyer and try to remove your personal feelings and emotions, according to Grunberger. Your home is being viewed as a commodity. Make sure it is clear of clutter, and remove photos of your family. This is both for your privacy and lets the potential buyer see it as a place they could live. Bottom line: consider your situation and the choices you have. For example, you may not be able to wait several seasons, but waiting a month for better conditions is feasible. Historical trends prove this. But listing your home for sale at the wrong time can result in scenarios that every home seller wants to avoid. Fewer buyers, lower selling price, having your home sit on the market. Knowing how to better time the sale of your home can help you avoid situations like this. To do that, you need to learn about pre-existing market trends and the important factors that directly impact the ideal time to put your home on the market. In general, the best time of the year to sell a house is when supply is low and demand is high. Supply is the number of homes for sale, and demand is the number of buyers. A real estate market where there are more buyers than there are homes for sale is known as a seller's market. This is the type of market where you see homes selling quickly, and in many cases, with multiple offers over the asking price. Buyers are willing to pay more during this time of year because there is less inventory to choose from and more competition. The worst time of the year to sell a house is when the demand in your local market is low and the number of homes for sale is high. This is referred to as a buyer's market. Supply and demand in the housing market fluctuate throughout the year and are impacted by the location of the property being sold. There's a formula I'm going to show you that will help you gauge supply in your local housing market, which can help you decide what time of year to sell. There's a reason why house sales are seasonally adjusted, although June has historically been the month with the highest sales price. But the best-selling month can vary by region. That's because location and seasonality have a big impact on which month might be the best time to put a property up for sale. The location factor can even vary by state and city. Analyzing national and regional market trends to know which months have performed well in previous years can be helpful to determine the perfect time to list. But keep in mind that they don't take your specific location into account or a myriad of other essential factors, like personal circumstances. Here's how you can decide which month might be best to list your home. How to determine the best month to sell a house. Find the month with the highest sale price in your market. You can do this by getting annual trends over the last several years from a good real estate agent. This will give you insights into which month has resulted in more money for home sellers in your local market. 2. Get the average days on market from your agent. This tells you how long recently sold homes have stayed on the market before accepting an offer. To get the most accurate number, be sure your realtor factors in your home's condition, location on street, and asking price. 3. Estimate the average time to close. This will estimate how long it might take for the buyer to complete their financing once your sale is pending. This usually averages 25 to 60 days but depends on the typical buyer in your area. Analyze the data. This is a fairly simple calculation. You'll need your real estate agent to get the number of active and pending listings on the last day of any preceding months. Do this over a certain time period and you'll start to get an idea of which time is best to sell a home in your area. For example, let's say you go back over the last 3 years and notice that during the some months the inventory tends to be higher. This would tell you that the supply of homes for sale is highest during this time. You know that selling with less competition is ideal, so this data might help you decide that putting your home on the market sometime during October to February is best. You can also get the median selling price for each month to help you gauge the demand. Combining both of these numbers can help clarify peak market conditions and the best time for a seller's market in your area. Determining the best time to sell your house can help maximize your price and shorten how long it takes. But your decision should include more than just market conditions. You have your own unique set of circumstances that should be factored in to help you determine when you should start the home selling process. Find the best listing agent in your area and screen local real estate agents so you can get the one best matched to quickly sell your house for the maximum price. No matter the reason, your personal circumstances shouldn't be contingent on your timing because historical trends don't guarantee the same results. And sometimes you can't put a price tag on life-changing circumstances. When in doubt, get personal advice from a local agent. O's Consult connects homebuyers and sellers with qualified local agents who will guide you to the best time to sell based on your market and personal circumstances.